Everybody loves the fantasy version of solar. Panels on the roof, electric bill disappears, birds sing, wallets get fat, and the reality shows up wearing cargo shorts and carrying replacement costs. Inverter failures, battery degradation, roof complications, bad math, and a system that somehow costs more than the truck parked in the damn driveway. The problem isn't the solar. The problem is people building the solar systems for screenshots instead of building systems that survive 10, 15, 20 years. And a solar setup that actually works long term isn't flashy. It's boring. It's balanced. It's designed around maintenance, upgrades, efficiency, and one ugly truth nobody wants to hear: reducing energy use beats generating more energy almost every single time. Step one is figuring out what problem you're solving. This sounds obvious, but people skip it constantly. Are you trying to lower bills? Go off the grid, survive outages, power a workshop, charge an EV? Because every one of these goals creates a different solar setup. A grid tied system for lower bills is not the same thing as an off grid independence machine. People will blow thousands because they buy equipment first and ask questions later. Start with 12 months of electric usage. Average monthly consumption matters more than your emotional attachment to energy independence. Write down your annual usage and divide your loads into categories: critical, daily comfort, and luxury. Refrigerator is critical. Wi Fi is probably critical, depending on how addictive society has become. Pool heater, luxury. Giant gaming setup, probably not life support. And next comes the least exciting but most vulnerable or valuable upgrade in solar history. It's efficiency. Before a single panel goes on a roof, attack waste, air leaks, old insulation, inefficiency appliances, ancient HVAC units, and bad windows, phantom power draws, lights left on because apparently switches are decorative. Every watt you save is a watt you never have to generate, store, manage, or replace later. If you cut household usage by 20%, first you can often reduce the system size dramatically. Smaller systems mean lower install costs, fewer panels, smaller battery banks, and less future headaches. Now, sizing this is where people become spreadsheet philosophers. Bigger is not always better. Oversized systems cost more upfront and can create payback timelines that become painful. And undersized systems create disappointment and generate dependence. And a long term setup should aim for realistic production, seasonal changes, and growth capacity. If your average usage is 10,000 kilowatt hours annually, don't design exactly for 10,000. Build the margin. Weather changes, habits change. Maybe future you buys an EV because gas prices decide violence again. Build intelligently with expansion in mind. Panel choice matters less than people think, and installation quality matters more than people realize. Everyone argues over panel brands while ignoring the roof age, and the mounting quality and the high efficiency is nice, but the longevity and support matters more. Roof solar should ideally go onto a roof with enough life remaining that you aren't tearing everything off in 8 years. If your roof is old, replace it first. Nobody enjoys paying twice. Ground mounts are, cost more initially, but can make maintenance easier, improve orientation, and simplify the expansion. Orientations and shading are silent system killers as well. A tiny amount of shade can punch, far above its weight. Trees look beautiful until they become electrical thieves. People install premium hardware, then wonder why production looks sad every afternoon. Understand seasonal sun angles. Okay, track where shade appears during different times of the day. You know, a clean, unobstructed installation often beats adding extra panels to compensate. And let's talk about inverters because this is where the magic becomes electricity. Panel create DC power, and your house wants AC. The inverter does the conversion, and it quietly becomes one of the most important pieces of the entire setup. Cheap inverter decisions become expensive stories, and long term systems prioritize reliability, monitoring, support, and replacement availability. String inverters are efficient and cost effective in the right setup. Microinverters offer panel level optimization and easier mounting, but add more components, and hybrid inverters create flexibility for batteries later if long-term flexibility matters. Don't trap yourself in an ecosystem that pushes or punishes expansions. Speaking of batteries, okay? Everybody wants batteries until they see the battery price. Batteries are incredible tools, but terrible trophies. If your grid is reliable and your goal is savings, batteries may not make financial sense immediately. If outages happen often or independent matters, batteries become much more attractive. And the key is sizing batteries around actual critical loads instead of fantasy scenarios. People imagine, my nose is bothering me today. If people imagine, powering their entire house indefinitely and discovering physics has opinions. Start with essentials, the refrigerators, communications, lighting, medical devices, maybe heating depending on the climate, and build layers instead of trying to become a sci fi bunker overnight. Battery chemistry matters too. Long term thinking usually favors the durability and cycle life of over maximum capacity bragging rights. You want batteries that survive years of charging and discharging without becoming expensive paperweights. The depth of discharge, operating temperatures, charging behavior, and warranty terms matter more than marketing slogans. Monitoring is criminally underrated, and if your solar system cannot tell you what it's doing, you're guessing. Production, consumption, battery status, historical performance, alerts, and faults reporting should all be visible. Tiny performance losses become massive losses over years, and a system that loses 10% efficiency quietly for 5 years just robbed you while smiling. Maintenance is where solar myths go to die. Solar is low maintenance. It is not no maintenance. Dirt accumulates, connections age, and vegetations grow. Hardware loosens, and snow exists. Monitoring catches problems, but physical inspection matters too. And once or twice a year, inspect the mounts, wiring access areas, and shading changes, panel cleanliness, and your environment requires it. And system health reports treat it like a machine, not a decoration. And the financial expectation is reality injected directly into them. Ignore miracle payback claims. As solar economics depend on local utility rates, incentives, financing, weather, and usage. Long term systems win because they reduce the exposure to rising energy costs and provide resilience, not because they create instant millionaires, energy hacks. And if someone's sales pitch sounds like you'll retire next Tuesday because sunlight exists, put your wallet back in your damn pocket. One of the smartest long term moves is designing for modular upgrades, technology changes. Your setup should not become a museum exhibit. Leave electrical capacity where possible and choose equipment ecosystems that support the expansion. Run conduit if future additions are possible, and think about the EV charging even if you don't own one. Think about backup integration even if you don't need batteries yet. And off grid deserves its own warning label. People romanticize off grid life until they realize clouds are undefeatable. And long term off grid success comes from aggressive efficiency, backup generations, oversized storage planning, and accepting seasonal behavior. You don't beat winter with optimism. You beat it with planning. And here's something people rarely mention. Behavior matters. The best solar setup in the world loses the terrible habits, running everything simultaneously, ignoring peak loads, wasting climate control, and treating generation as infinite destroys performance. Long term solar households think in flows instead of switches, generate, store, consume intelligently. If you remember nothing else, remember this formula: lower demand first, size realistically second, prioritize the reliability third, and expand later. Don't build a solar flex project, build an energy system. The setup that it survives a decade are rarely the biggest and almost never the loudest. They're the ones where somebody sat down, looked at the actual numbers, built for maintenance, planned for the upgrades, and accepted that boring decision age better than exciting ones. And sunlight is free. Bad planning absolutely is not. But once, maintain it. Build once, maintain it. In future, you won't be standing in the driveway explaining to the neighbor why revolutionary energy empire currently runs on extension cords and regret. Thanks for watching. If you found value in today's video, please subscribe. Without a subscription base, I can't continue to be here on YouTube and continue to grow. And that's definitely what we need right now. And I'd love to see you on the next video. We're looking to build this channel from the ground up, and we post 5 days a week, and I'd love to see you on the next one. So if you would do that for me, just subscribe. Have a good day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.